Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Zurich model airport unboxing video. And today we are unboxing three quite exciting long-haul aircraft, as you can see. And by exciting I pretty much mean rare models. Now sure, not all of these models are that rare, but here's the deal. These aircraft are very expensive. And I managed to get them for a very good price. I mean, considering that the Cathay Pacific models you usually find, it cost above like 60-70 euros, which is just out of, like, it's just mind-blowing. So these are simply aircraft I would consider rare, and I'm very happy I managed to get these aircraft because it's just hard to find them for a good price. And having these aircraft now, it will make a big difference for my airport, because I already have some hard to find aircraft here now. So without further ado, we'll begin unboxing the Qatar A3501000 in the livery of One World. So we'll put these to the side for now. And with that said, let's start taking the aircraft out of the box. Alright, so we'll put this to the side and we'll have the aircraft there. Now obviously, looking at the aircraft like this, it's a very long and big model. But we'll begin with the front as the usual, where we have the cockpit windows and the black paint around the cockpit windows for the raccoon eye little situation going on. And yeah, we have some details underneath the windows, and the cockpit window wipers are also printed on there quite nicely. Then we have the front landing gear, which is your casual Herpa landing gear thing going on there. We have the logo of One World, which Qatar is a member of, and the whole livery is, as you can see, based off of One World. And yes, we have the passenger windows and the front door over there, which also has a little detail there. I'm not exactly sure what that is next to the door. It's like a little dot. But yes, we have the One World text and the Qatar text. And moving along to the middle, we have what I suppose says Qatar, but in Arabic, which is also nice. And yeah, more windows and the engines, which have the Qatar logo on them. And the engines are also marked with some red markings, as you can see, which is a nice addition. And we have the wings, which have some nice flaps, slats and spoilers and other little details that are quite nice. And then obviously we have the A350 winglet that has the logo of Qatar. Yeah, it's better if I do like this, it's easier to see it. And moving along the back, we have more windows and the flag of Qatar, the registration of this aircraft, which is A7ANE. And then we have the last rear door, which is also nicely detailed like any other door on the aircraft. And of course, on top there we have the sat dome. We have the vertical stabilizers and the tail, pretty much. And then the APU, which has some silver details, which also looks quite nice in my opinion. And if we look from the front, the engines have some nice fan blade details, and behind the engines we also have some more details, obviously, which is nice. It looks good. Herpa did a decent job on that. This is just a One World livery. It's not the standard Qatar livery, which is a bit sad, but finding a standard Qatar livery A350 is just so hard. Yeah, it's the prices are just insane. It's not normal, but yeah, unfortunately that's what these models cost. They're not cheap. There's a lot of people that want them, and it's, yeah. Anyways, yeah, One World livery of Qatar. That concludes pretty much everything for this aircraft. I can obviously also show the bottom to show the main gear and the Qatar logo, which also is getting ruined by the stand hole Herpa adds, which the aircraft didn't come with, and the registration of the aircraft under the wing. Now, that concludes everything pretty much for the Qatar A350. Once again, I'm very happy to have this model. I really wouldn't mind having a standard livery one as well, but I'm not in a rush now. What matters is that I have a decent Qatar model. And with that said, let's move to the next aircraft. And up next we have the Singapore Airlines 777-300ER, which is also a Herpa model. Now, before I start unboxing the aircraft, we can look at the box for a bit, because as you can see, it's different from the standard boxes, which look like this, that the Qatar came in. So I suppose this is once again like a special collaboration with Singapore Airlines that Herpa had, and I believe this is indeed an older model, because yeah, the boxes wouldn't really be looking like this otherwise. Now, of course, we have some technical data on the back. We have an image of the aircraft, quite a few of them actually, which is a nice little detail Herpa has added, which I believe wouldn't be too bad to have on the newer boxes as well. But once again, I'm just talking about the boxes in almost every video, so I'm not going to be doing that now. Without further ado, let's just get this model out the box and we'll take a closer look at it. Alright, so with the aircraft outside the box now, we'll begin with the front, where we have the cockpit windows and the cockpit window wipers, and of course right next to those we have the Star Alliance logo, and that is what Singapore Airlines is a member of. And then we have the front landing gear, which is also quite nice, and it looks a bit more detailed and a bit more slim, which I prefer, honestly. Now, I don't know if they have changed molds or not really, but this one does indeed look kind of better if I compare it, in my head at least, to the Air Canada 777-300ER that I have. Either way, we have the front door and some windows for what I assume is the first class. And then we have the Singapore Airlines logo, or the texting as well, I should say. And of course we have this dark blue and golden color that is going along the fuselage, which I like. And then the flag of Singapore, which is placed pretty much in the middle of the aircraft. And obviously we have some nice flap slats and spoilers on the wings, and we also have some emergency markings on the wings, which look quite nice. And moving along to the back, we don't really have anything that special. It's just, yeah, as you can tell, the rear door and more windows. Now, I don't really know what happened to the registration of this aircraft, if it's even based off of a specific aircraft in real life, or if it's just a 777-300ER model with the Singapore Airlines livery. Now, my guess is that that's the situation, and the case with this model. Now, that's completely fine by me. It doesn't really have to be based off of a specific model. But as long as the airline operates this aircraft to Zurich and everything, that's what matters for me. Now, yes, obviously, vertical stabilizers. We got the tail as well with the Singapore Airlines logo, which is also nice. It has the colors pretty much just match up, and it's very good looking. Now, the engines as well, the fan blades are printed. It's just very hard to tell. And then we have the rear side of the engines, which also have some nice details. And obviously there's no safety markings on this aircraft. Considering it's an older model, it's kind of expected. And yes, of course, we have the cargo or luggage compartments, depends how you want to call it, at the front and the back. And the main landing gear, of course, with the Herpa stand hole there, which once again doesn't come with the aircraft. It's not really a thing Herpa does with most of their aircraft. They don't include those stands really. They only come to some specific and certain models. But yes, with that said, that would conclude everything for the Singapore Airlines 777-300ER. So with that said, we'll move over to the next aircraft. And up next we have the Cathay Pacific Airbus A350-900, which is not a Herpa made aircraft, but it's made by Hogan Wings, if I'm correct, since Herpa rarely makes any Cathay Pacific models. And when they do, they're really expensive, like people want like 70-80 bucks. But I managed to get this thing for only 35 euros. So it was relatively cheap. And from how much I saw on the images, it was like your casual Herpa aircraft almost. It's the same quality. So without further ado, let's start opening the box. And yeah, I usually look at the box and show the box off a bit, but there's really nothing much to it. It's just the Cathay Pacific logo, scale 1 to 500, and Airbus A350-900, and yeah, choking hazard, of course. And that's pretty much it. There's literally nothing else on the box. So let's just get the aircraft out the box now. So the aircraft is outside the box, and as you can tell, it's really not much different from the Herpa models. It's really a good aircraft, honestly. So we'll begin with the front, which has the cockpit windows, which look quite nice. Slightly different from what Herpa would do, but this is also quite good in my opinion. It really doesn't stand out that much. So yeah, cockpit windows. I do not see any wipers though, but that really doesn't bother me since, I mean, it has the raccoon eyes. It's really hard to tell if they are on there or not. And we have the front landing gear, which is also very similar to Herpa's. We have the Cathay Pacific logo and a lot of windows. Then we obviously have the wings. It has your casual details. It's what you would expect on an aircraft model, which is the markings like flaps, slats, and spoilers. And then the flaps or winglets. And then the winglets, of course, and they have the Cathay Pacific logo on them. And before we move over to the rear end of the aircraft, we can look at the engines, which are nice. They have the fan blades printed on there nicely as well. I really like this aircraft. And then, of course, moving to the back, we have more windows and more doors. And then we have the registration of the aircraft and the aircraft's name. And in this case, the registration is BLRA. And I'm assuming it is registered in the UK, I think. Now, I don't really know how it works for Cathay Pacific, but I suppose they have to do it because of political problems. I really don't want to get into that because it really doesn't bother me. And we have the Cathay Pacific logo, which is quite nicely detailed and printed on there. It's really not that much. The Cathay Pacific livery just generally isn't that much special. It's pretty much just a plain livery, but it's still not bad looking. I really like the livery, even though it's quite simple. And of course the APU and the stabilizers, which also have some details on there. And we can turn the aircraft around, actually upside down. You have a stand hole and the main landing gear, and then there's the registration on the wing up there. Now, I don't know if the stands are compatible with Herpa's stands or not, but this aircraft did come with a stand, which is right there on the box, as you can see. So we'll put it on the stand and we'll see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like on the stand. I was a bit surprised that the text was actually supposed to be behind the aircraft. I was expecting it to be up here where the front of the aircraft is shown. But yeah, once again, I'm really not going to be using this stand that much, since I mainly keep the aircraft on the airport and on their gates pretty much. But with that said, let's just put all the aircraft together and let's just take a last look at them before the video ends. And here we have them, the aircraft that we unboxed today. And once again, I'm just very happy that I have these models, since not only are they rare, but they are very expensive, and I got them for a good price. And these are just simply aircraft that I needed for the Zurich airport, because they operate daily to Zurich, and without these aircraft it wouldn't really be proper. But we finally have them here. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, which will be an airport update. I'll be making it soon, so expect an airport update soon. Goodbye.